I remember the lady opened the door. I froze completely and looked at her and said, wrong door. And I walked away.
10 years of door knocking to vice president of national sales, like quite the trajectory there. Is there one skill that you found carried over?
So I was going to Queen's University. I was in my third year of pre-med. That's the route I thought I was going, and I was hating it. I wasn't sure I was going to get out of it, but, my career counselor had said, why don't you get a job in sales? Like, if you're going to go on to become a doctor, a lot of them don't have great bedside manner and, not great people skills, and you need that skill set. So get into sales. And I'd done some retail when I was a teenager, but not full-on sales. So I answered an ad in the paper, and it turned out to be, going door to door and selling those coupon packages, buy one, get one free for Blockbuster Video and McDonald's and all that stuff. I started building up a team, and I was making some silly money. And I thought, I'm going to take a year off school. I'm going to see where this goes. Or I can build up a team. I can open up my own office, and then I can open up others. And I ended up doing that. And actually, that's where I met Stu, the other vice president here in Ontario. But I ended up having offices across Canada. And then I got a chance to go open up offices in Northern Africa and Morocco. So I spent 13 months over there building up a sales force of about 200 people. Got inundated into the culture over there, learned, how to speak Arabic while I was there. And so a lot of people don't know that stuff.
I didn't know that.
So anyways, the skill set that I brought, first off, that is, no pun intended, but the school of hard knocks when it comes to sales. You've got 20 seconds to make an impression and keep somebody's interest and get them to open up their wallet. I learned how to build a good impression inside 20, 30 seconds. I learned how to be resilient, thick-skinned, and take rejection and, handle the no's. And I learned how to not get too high when, you had a hell of a day, and not get too low when you didn't have a great day. And so there's just a bunch of those skill sets that I've just carried forward because that's part of sales. Some days are good.
How are the nerves on your first knock?
Terrible. So the way it works is you start off following somebody for a day. You really don't get to do any pitching. You're just sitting there listening to how they do it. And they had a really cool, 5 steps where you do an intro, a short story, presentation, get it in their hands, do a quick close, and then, try to sell multiples. So they had a system, and it worked. Day 2, you start doing a few doors on your own. And the first door, I'm not even making this up. I remember the lady opened the door. I froze completely and looked at her and said, wrong door. And I walked away. And I'm walking down the sidewalk or the pathway to the sidewalk, and my trainer looks at me. He's like, wrong door. Like, dude, this isn't like a wrong number. Like I said, man, I froze. I panicked. But every door got easier and easier and easier. And, by day 3, you're doing doors on your own. And if you do well enough at this, they made you a sales leader, which it only took me 3 weeks to become one. And then I got to start training others to do it, and, got to make a little piece off of everything they were doing. And that's what got me into sales.